Now, Julianne Cusick decided, after she discovered her husband was a sex addict, she decided she would not leave him, although he had been cruising for sex. Joining me to discuss, relationship expert Laura Barron. Laura, what jumps out at you about this?
Well, I'm just glad that God got a hold of them before I did, because I would have taken that woman out of this relationship stat. I mean, it doesn't matter what is laid down in terms of what your morals are, what you're preaching. If you're out scoping around and out away from your marriage, that's what you are. Would you have
taken her out of this at the engagement stage when he was confessing that he had an addiction?
Yeah, without question. I mean, addiction, whatever. The dude was cheating on her from the get-go. This is the important point. He was essentially saying to her, I want to get married, but I'm not willing to stay committed, or I don't have the tools to stay committed. That's a problem.
And yet he had said, he admitted that he got a problem. He was in treatment. Sure. I'm going to work on this. I mean, at what point do you give somebody a break? Let me say to you guys, the couple, I'm sure you're aware of this, that a significant percentage of couples where one is sexually addicted stay together and end up in a really good place through treatment. Have you both had treatment?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And I believe that a person can experience a kind of marriage and relationship and a kind of intimacy actually as a result of staying committed and walking through something like this, not despite. And we both would say today that we've got something that we never could have imagined from having walked through this together.
Again, I'm trying to give people an understanding of where this thing takes someone. And again, you with the squeaky clean job and looking great on the outside and having this unbelievable life that was on the dark side, I still don't have a picture. I'm imagining you in a back alley with your life in danger, with a prostitute. I mean, how bad did it get?
I was really, really out of control. I had a job at the time in mental health, because one of my degrees is in counseling psychology, where I would be on call at local hospitals. And so I had these large amounts of time where I didn't have to account for anything. And I began to tell little white lies that grew into bigger lies, that grew into really a double life of deception. And one of the chief characteristics of every addiction is self-deception. And so long before I ever deceived Julianne or anyone else, I deceived myself that what I was doing really didn't have consequences. And I really wanted a marriage very much. I just didn't know how to have intimacy.
But it did have consequences, and the consequences are sitting right next to you. The consequence is a broken down woman that is getting into a marriage that is not feeling any love. That's consequences.
Oh, yeah. I was saying that the addiction was telling me that there were no consequences. That was the nature of the self-deception. I'm the first one to admit that I was absolutely self-absorbed, selfish, compulsive, deceptive, and that's all the nature of addiction. By no means am I abdicating responsibility or in any way saying I did not make choices that were wrong. According to my faith, I would say that those choices... Go ahead.
No, well, I guess the issue that I see in this is that, you know, it was almost as if you had asked your wife to stay with you while you were consistently disrespecting her.
But now, Julianne, you actually didn't. There were consequences. You had him sleeping on the floor, as I understand. You actually did take consequence.
Thank you. Dr. Drew, let me make 2 points of clarification. The first being that prior to our marriage, when we were engaged, he was not acting out at that time. Yes, so he was sober, if you will. He was not healed, but he was in treatment. There may have been 2 or 3 slips, but it wasn't a chronic, this is the lifestyle I want.
But Julianne, honey, the slips, but these slips is what...
Oh, I was naive.
Is what got him down into the back alleys of your marriage.
Let's take a call, guys. Slow down
here. What did I know?
Susan in Connecticut.
What did I know?
Hi, Susan. What do you got?
Hi, Dr. Drew. Hi, everybody. I was involved in a marriage that, my husband was addicted to prostitutes, and I didn't know. And he ended up getting busted in a sting, and I left. And people, for all the people who are out there going, but I love him, I have to stay with him. Well, if you love him, then you love him enough to let him go so that he can get help.
Yes, and do you love yourself enough, too?
With him, I'm sorry.
That's right.
I want to give a contrary opinion. Susan, I'm going to give you a contrary opinion. Here it is. It's the opposite of yours, Laura.
What?
And here's what it is, which is, Susan, You picked that guy. You were attracted to him. There's something in you that is still untreated, my dear, that attracted you to that guy, and you're going to do it again. If you'd stayed with that guy and worked through all this, perhaps things could be different.
But Drew, here's the thing, though, is that she got out, and this says that she has more self-respect. This says that she has an opportunity for a healthy next relationship. Right, Susan, are you in a healthy relationship now?
Oh, yeah, I got divorced. I got divorced right away. I got out of there and I said, I'm going to be okay, you're going to be okay, but we're not going to be okay.
Right.
And he needed to get help. I couldn't get him better.
Well, but I'm saying,
Okay.
there's a reason you were with him, and you too need help as well. And I bet there's things in this current marriage. Maybe you learned your lesson, and maybe things are magically better. But usually the way humans work is there's a fittedness we have in our intimate relationships, and whatever attracted you to that guy that was a sex addict is going to attract you to another guy with addiction or something of that order. Just how it works. Maybe this is an exception. Laura, hold on one second. I got to go.